Good day, ma'am. I am Jovel Sagusay from BCHM 3B, and this is my chapter 11 entitled Laws Regulating Professional Congress Organizers. So before we proceed to the report, here are the list of the learning objectives. So the first one is to enumerate the responsibilities of the professional congress organizers. Second is to identify the laws that govern the business of congress, conference, or events organizers. Third is provide examples of safeguard that may be observed by professionals congress organizer to prevent violation of any law. So, meetings, incentives, conventions, and events or other parts of the business tourism sector is a major truth often undervalued sector of the wider tourism industry. So in this chapter deals with the laws regulating professional congress organizer, which also encompass other names applied to the professions or planners and convention organizers. This will also discuss the accreditation requirements by the Department of Tourism. So the first one is the nature description of the business. So the law. So what is convention? So a convention is any gathering for a purpose of exchanging or disseminating views, technical expertise, experiences, knowledge, skills, information, policy, or any other related activity. It, it does not include corporate meetings or events where participation is limited to a company personnel only. The term shall include any of the following. Next is what is conference. So a conference is usually general session and face-to-face groups with high participation to plan, get facts, solve organization and member problems. Next is what is the Congress. So a Congress is more commonly used European designation for convention and mainly international in Europe. Next is a seminar. So seminar is usually one face-to-face group shares experience in a particular field under the guidance of an expert discussion leader. Attendance is 30% or less. Next is lecture. So a lecture is a formal presentation by an expert or sometimes followed by a question and answer period. Next is the symposium. So a symposium is a panel of discussion by experts in a given field before a large audience with some audience participation but applicably less than a forum. So what is forum? So a forum is a panel discussion taking opposite sides of an issue by expert in a given field with liberal opportunities for audience participation. Next is the workshop. So a workshop is usually a general session and face-to-face groups or participant train such other to gain new knowledge, skills, or insight into problems. Attendance generally no more than 30 to 35 participants. Next is colloquium. So a colloquium is a program in which the participant determine the matter to be discussed. So the leader would then construct a program around the most frequent problems, usually attended by 35% or less with equal emphasis on instruction and discussion. So next is the Professional Congress Organizer or PCO. So any person or natural or juridical who manage conventions either as an official or an organization's consultant, volunteers, or as retained professionals. So in discussion of the law, trade shows at the event may be organized by a profession congress organizer for purposes of accreditation by the Department of Tourism. Think of the Professional Congress Organizer or PCO or event planner as well as connected meetings planner for hire. This type of specialties or specialist is a common outside the US, especially in European cities. So a PCO or event planner can take over the site selection process for you, negotiate with the hotels and other suppliers, handle accounting matters and on-site logistics, advise on tax matters, and shepherd paperwork. So in short, it will take charge or the program. So the business of the Professional Congress Organizer is the type of agency for the law discussed in the Chapter 5 may apply. So, next is the accreditation of the professional congress or organizer. So the following are the requirements for the issuance for accreditation by the Department of Tourism. So first is, in case of single proprietorship, a business name certificate and all amended thereto in the case of partnership or corporation, a certified true copy of the article of partnership or incorporation and its bylaw and amended thereto duly registered with the Security and Exchange Commission. Next is the complete list of each executive officer and employees, indicate their nationality, home address, and their positions. Next is contract of list of contract to list or the office space intended for the use of the PCO. Next is the mayor's permit or the municipal license. Next is the latest income tax returns and audited financial statement is reflecting a minimum working capital of 100,000 pesos. And lastly, such other documents that the department may be required for time to time. The PCO must also be located in business district and must easily identifiable. The certificate of accreditation shall be valid for a period of 1 year from the date of issuance by the Department of Tourism. So, we have the example here. So, it is a case by Roberto Sozobrado, has an event planning outfit called Ideas. So he recently won a bid of handle the International Convention of Surgeons in Manila in 2009. He was obviously delighted because aside from the business motivation, Mr. Sozobrado is very keen of supporting Philippine tourism. So discuss the key responsibility of his company in upcoming international convention. What areas must he be careful of its or order to prevent problem. So here is her he so here here's are the legal opinion. So Mr. Zobrado is bound by his acceptance to carry out is in handling the international convention and shall be liable for damages which through his non-performance the client who hired Mr. Zobrado may suffer. In the execution of handling the international convention, Mr. Zobrado must act in accordance with the instructions and approval of the client. All things being concerned by Mr. Zobrado must perform all the goods father of family do as required by the nature of his business. Again, it it perform all that a good father of a family would do as required by the nature of his business. So, as an event organizer, has various safety duties known as collective duties and reasonable care. Planning any activity or special event is important since there is an element of risk present. These are first is to investigate all aspects of the event, including safety and security, and act accordingly. Next is to inform and warn participants of known risk. Next is to plan for the safety and well-being of every participant. Next is to ensure participants are not subjected to unreasonable risk of harm. Delegate safety and security should always be considered when selecting a venue. In addition, ease of access, both by participant and by the organizer and supplier as well as the importation of goods should be taken into account. Medical congress cost significant sums of money. Proper fund management is important as any commercial operation to ensure the security of this fund and for the regular attended tracking for allocated expenditure. This is and according to Ment Gaber, former Secretary of the Tourism, conferences, exhibitions, trade shows, and other events take place in the major cities of the country with sometimes foreign delegates. It is the job of the professional congress of event organizer to plan carefully a memorable, organized, and successful affair. And I think that's all about my chapter 11. Have a nice day ahead and thank you.